morning and welcome to Dry Canyon. We're going to do a 3-mile hike to the top in which we'll gain 3,000 vertical feet, so it's a relatively steep hike. We started just up Dry Canyon, but we're going to take the high road. So we're going to come up here and hang a right, and we're just going to skirt around the edge of Baldy and then climb up to the Baldy shoulder and then head across the Great Western there and down into Battle Creek, and then we'll come back across Curley Springs back to the trailhead. So these summer days heat up quickly, so bring plenty of water and some munchies and enjoy the solitude, because it's a relatively popular trail, but the further up you get, the fewer crowds you see, and there'll be some beautiful views up top. Let's go get them. If you continue straight there, that's the Bull Trail, and that takes you around to Curley Springs as well. After you get 2 miles up, you'll find that the trail parallels the old trail, which eroded itself into quite a deep rut there. Now, if you go further down into the bottom of the canyon, you'll see some even bigger ruts, even deeper, sometimes maybe 15 feet deep, and those were not caused by former trails, but by avalanches, kind of like this one. Here we are at the Baldy shoulder. Got a little rock pile here. And it would be a shame to come all this way and not take you to the top of Baldy and check out those views. But just know that it's another like half mile and a couple 100 feet climb. That's it. We made it. Such beautiful views here. Do not come here somewhere like this and just like take a selfie and turn around and run back down. Like, make sure you just sit here and take it in. It feels so good and so beautiful. Welcome to Utah County. All right, let me show you around. So behind us here we have Timpanogos, beautiful scenic 11,750 feet. We're gonna go back down to the shoulder and drop down and hit some of these meadows you can see here, sagebrush flats. You can see some trails running through some of those. And then we're gonna cut down Battle Creek Canyon here. And then we'll go up the side and catch the Curley Springs trail. I've got another video on that, and right there's the top of that big cliff right on the corner. The next canyon over is Grove Creek Canyon, and that's Mount Mahogany there. Point of the mountain there, so I-15 wraps around. We've got Alpine, Lehigh, American Fork, Pleasant Grove, Linden, Orem, and Provo down that way. Across the lake we have aptly named Lake Mountain, and at the south end of the lake we have not so aptly named West Mountain. Unless you live in Payson, then it makes a lot of sense. The big one there with some snow on it, Nebo, that's the highest in the Wasatch Range and the edge of Utah County, 11,923 feet. And then you come over some more snow on Loafer, Spanish Fork Canyon running up there, and then kind of in the distance you've got Maple Mountain or Spanish Fork Peak, and then closer that's Y Mountain and some others, and then kind of nestled in between there's Buffalo Peak and Squaw Peak, and the Squaw Peak Road winds up and there's a nice overlook over there. And then Provo Peak kind of in the distance with the snow, and then closer here Cascade, just mostly made of cliffs, and then we're back here to Timpanogos.
What is that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
Cheers, you too.
Thanks. Brian,
How you doing?
you're not wearing your search and rescue hat.
I am not.
What are the odds?
This is Sean Roundy. This is the
Hi, all.
sailor. This is my daughter.
You have a new boat, huh?
She's nice. She just
Hey, puppy.
snuck up on her. She
Yeah.
was asleep.
She was asleep.
Did I ruin your dreams? I'm
Sean's
so
the sailor.
sorry.
I was telling you about.
Yeah, it was for organizational change leadership.
That's a good case study.
Yeah.
The people with attitudes and ownership and opinions.
Yeah,
And
and
We're like 15
Yeah.
over.
I know. I'm doing these. All good. All right.
is it
Plus-
YouTube?
Yeah, youtube.com/Utah Highways.
Okay.
Don't forget to like and
Well, there's
Through here. I would really love to have a little cabin in one of these little meadows around here. I wonder what that would do to me to have that much peace and quiet, like for a long time. I will have to settle for a tent now and then. That right there, that's another one of the best sounds in the world, and everybody knows that. Mile to our Curley Springs. I think last summer they started doing all this water reclamation project up here. So these new roads, this is new. I've not been up this high since they did that, but I'm sure they'll lead us back down. This is just for draining water. You know, Battle Creek was always a kind of steep canyon. This road makes it steeper and not a tenth as pretty, so it's kind of disappointing. Maybe if we're lucky, if we finish with the water project, maybe someday it'll get restored. A year ago, there was a trail that just cut up and kind of left. That's not the one you want. That goes up to some kind of pretty meadows and stuff, but pretty much dead ends. We want the lower one that cuts across that. So maybe even there. Yeah, it's definitely the lower trail. And it cuts across, skirts right on top of the creek here. Just got search and rescue call. Too bad it's not on this trail. Beaver Dam. 50-year-old male walked off a horse. May have broken something. Well, I will respond, but it's going to take a minute. Ah, cool breeze, love it. Also, here is a shout out for SAR volunteer Chris Reed, who yesterday, at the tail end of a rescue we had up at Stewart Falls, where people are always scrambling around on cliffs where really they shouldn't be, and then they realize they shouldn't be there. Luckily, sometimes they call us before they fall and get injured, sometimes not. Anyway, shout out to Chris, because he said our average call is Sunday at 2 o'clock. And guess what? It's Sunday at 2:35. So, hey, you're pretty darn close. I mean, you're still wrong, but it was close. There. Berms are fun on a bike. Here we begin the descent to Curley Springs of the eponymous trail. And if you don't know what eponymous means, then hike this and then post on social media that you hiked the eponymous trail and see what people say. All right, I certainly hope you brought your bathing suit, because here we are, Curley Springs. Dive on in, so refreshing. This is my normally preferred route. Takes you down to the crop circles. Riding loops just go everywhere. It's awesome. But direct, we're gonna go back down Dry Canyon. This is road, this is trail. It all gets to the same place. Here is where we saw those two deer this morning. Do you think they're still there? So here we are, basically back. And the summary is, this is a relatively steep trail. Not to be done when it's 90 degrees, not recommended. beautiful views, steep uphill both ways. And I'm kind of disappointed about Battle Creek now. I can't really, in good conscience, recommend it to you. Although, if you go up just 1 mile, there's that waterfall. That's a cool spot. So, I do recommend that. And if you get all the way to the top, Sagebrush Flat stuff, it's gorgeous. But why not just go over to the next canyon, over to Grove Creek, and head up there? Get the best of all worlds. Probably wouldn't bike it. I mean, I biked a lot of it before. And the Curley Springs part is great biking. Video coming out on that soon. Closed to motorized vehicles, except during emergencies, so I do get to ride that now and then, which is fun. Running, Curley Springs I think is a good one for running. Other ones are a little too steep, you know, like uphill and down. If you're some uber athlete, you can do it, but I don't think most of us are that. So, as always, play safe, and may the forest be with you. By the way, do you know how to make the forest be with you? You go be with the forest. And when you're there, pay attention. Actually notice it, don't just go there and come back.